This is a podcast about our lived experience, which unfortunately includes infant death and subsequent mental health struggles. Please take good care of yourself and only listen if this content feels safe for you right now. We'll still be here when you're ready.
Hi, I'm Judith.
And I'm Alina. We both lost babies to SIDS in winter 2021.
In the throes of grief, I reached out to a stranger on the internet and our friendship was born.
In the years since, we've been working hard to survive, rebuild, and navigate the continual challenges that have come our way, including divorce,
Job loss,
dating while bereaved,
moving multiple times,
health scares,
pregnancy and parenting a living child,
starting new jobs, and so much more.
We are tired.
Happily ever after is out of the question for us, but this podcast documents our journeys to happier ever after because we believe life after loss is worth living.
So join us as we laugh, cry until we laugh.
Welcome to As Long As I'm Living podcast.
We're so glad you're here.
I'm really excited for you, and I think this baby's going to live, and I'm excited to meet her, and I just think it's exciting. I think it's a big deal, and I think it's exciting, and I think it's something that should be celebrated every minute of it, because you don't know when you're going to be doing it again after this. Like, you just don't know. So, take it, enjoy it, soak it in, and you know what? If the baby dies, the fact that you enjoyed it isn't ruined. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's exactly how I feel. Like, I cannot overstate, if you were somebody who's never had a baby die and you're worried about your baby dying, like, the stuff like the clothes, like, yeah, it's annoying to deal with the clothes. Like, yes, it's annoying to like unpack or repack the stuff. Yeah, but that's not the worst part.
That's not the worst part.
Don't over fixate on that stuff because there's a lot of grief to get through that's unrelated to the stuff.
Or another thing I thought is, I also think to myself, like, I'm never sad that I had such a happy 3 months with Aiden.
Yeah.
Like, that's never the problem. So I'm never sad about that. So, like, I allow myself to be happy now because I'm like, okay, if it ends, like, that's not the problem.
Yes. And every single time I think to myself, not even just think to myself, every single time I really feel in my heart that this baby is going to live, I think to myself, like, there's like a part of me that's like, ooh, don't say that because then you're wrong. And then I'm like, I thought Quinn was going to live. And like, I've never one time been like, you're such a dumbass. You thought, well, I kind of have, but like as a joke, like that's not like actually something that consumes my mind that I thought he was going to live and then he died and I was wrong and it was whatever. Like,
Yeah.
just let yourself like take the leap of faith and enjoy it. Feels good.
And this is a good, happy occasion, and you deserve it.
Yeah.
You deserve.
Boy, has it been a long time, and I have earned this baby. She better be cute.
We're like in the final chapter of a very long book.
Very long book. Very long, very sad, depressing book. Boy, oh boy, it's been a bummer.
In some ways, I'm kind of jealous of the way it worked out for you because I feel like you got to do a lot of your healing before you had a baby, and like I had to do a lot of my healing while I had a baby. And I would say if you just had a baby die and you're like, should I get like pregnant right away? And I would understand, and I would be like, I understand why you want to. I would say it might be easier in the long run to wait a little bit more.
Yeah.
Even though it's impossible, and I never blame myself for doing it in the way I did it. I understand completely why I did it, but there were huge consequences to the way that I went about it.
Yes.
Huge unintended bad consequences to the way I went about it. I would not recommend it. I would recommend waiting a little bit, really allowing yourself to like do the work.
Yes.
Because when your new baby is born, it needs the best version of yourself that you can offer. And you're not going to be a very good version of yourself. And you're missing out on the opportunity to enjoy it because you're so busy suffering.
Yeah. I definitely I'm in a different place heading into the birth of this baby than you were when you had your first baby after loss.
Yes.
That's like the understatement of the century. But just to be clear, like,
yeah.
Although some things I actually do feel like are exactly the same.
I think that is true.
I am like beside myself, like trying to keep this baby alive because it's just like your first baby after loss. You're pregnant after loss. It's hard, right? But I'm just like in a different spot. I'm just healed. I'm more healed. The flip side is you have a joy in your life that I have not had yet. And you've had it for 3 years, almost 3 years.
I also have like a busyness to my life, which I think is like a real benefit and like a wonderful thing when you're like, I don't have the time that you have in a way that I think is like good,
I think that there's there is a period of time where you do need space and time
Yeah.
to grieve. And it's the earliest days, maybe the first year, year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
It's not year 3.
Right.
Like, I've had too much time the last year and a half. I've had too much time
Yes.
to grieve and whatever and do all the stuff. Like, it's too much.
At some point, it's like you've done as much as you can do in the like healing before having another baby.
Yeah.
Say like your healing gets stagnant until it faces a new challenge. Now that new challenge could be a lot of different things. I don't know what that new challenge is for every single person.
Yeah. I mean, I had to do IVF. I had to find dating again. I found this heart condition. There's some other stuff.
Sure. But at some point you've kind of conquered everything that you're going to conquer.
Uh-huh.
And then in your case, you were kind of in a waiting period.
Yeah.
And I think that there was some suffering and agonizing that I didn't experience because I was actively healing on these other parts.
Yes. 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 I think that's true. And so in some ways I'm like behind because there's a whole bunch of experiences, doors that I haven't opened yet. And then in some ways I've had more time to open up the other doors that you haven't had time to open yet. I think that's very true.
And another thing is your situation is different because you're not married to the same partner. But I imagine, okay, let's go into the case where like Alina was still in a relationship with her partner that she had lost her child with. I will say that there's something about how like there's something to be said about like you and your partner just having more time for each other that I could imagine would be like an added benefit.
Yeah.
And I can imagine that it being like not having a subsequent child could be like a real strain on the relationship because there's something about rebuilding your family that's really healing.
Yeah.
So I could really argue it both. I could argue it both ways.
I'm going to give some advice. And by the way, please feel free to ignore it. But here's going to be my advice.
What would you say is the optimal amount of time? A year and a half? What would you say?
No. Okay. So there was a period of time where I was, despite my life circumstances, absolutely fixated minute to minute every day on the idea of having another baby, even though it made no sense and it was not possible. My arms were acutely empty. I would think to myself, oh, where's my baby? Like, oh, I have to have another baby. Let me get a baby. Like, it was like a whole bizarre, like, but it felt biological, hormonal. Like, I didn't feel like in my right mind. And you, I know, experienced that. And you got pregnant while you were experiencing that. My advice would be get through that stage and then have like a rational conversation with yourself about the right timing. I think that probably wrapped up maybe like 6 or 8 months after he died. The biological, physiological, lunatic Delulu brain that was like, I have to have a baby in my arms right now or I will keel over and die. It doesn't even have to be the baby that died. It was like, I need a baby in my arms. Like, it was like crazy, 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 crazy baby fever times 10,000. I think get through that period and you'll know when it's over. And then think to yourself, like, should I wait a couple months or like, what's 2 months in the grand? Like, I think you'll be able to have a much more rational conversation with yourself and make a better decision.
The problem is you are not rational when you're having those irrational thoughts.
I know. No, I know. That's why I'm saying, like, feel free to ignore that advice. I think it's very likely people are going to ignore it. If you have the opportunity to try, most people try.
It's like if you're an alcoholic and you're making a decision about not being an alcoholic while you're drunk. It's like, you can't do that. That makes no sense. Like, I understand what you're saying, Alina, but when you're in it,
yeah,
it's impossible. So
here's what I'll say. Wait 6 months.
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say, this is what I would say. I would say, listen to this conversation.
Yeah.
If you are someone who feels even slightly open to the idea of waiting, there are benefits to waiting, to thinking about this.
Yes.
If you are the type of person where you cannot go one other breath, you don't feel you have the capacity in it to wait, know you'll be okay and that there's going to be beauty on the other end. That's what I would say.
That's a nice way to put it. I love that. Yes.
I don't think that anyone making this decision is using their right brain. So, I mean, like, our good advice is well-intentioned, but it's also possible that you're the type of person who's here. There's a middle ground, by the way, which is the people who are trying to get pregnant right away, but are not pregnant because either it's taking a while to conceive or they have to go through IVF or they have a TFMR.
But that comes with its whole other.
They're waiting for their periods to come back. Like, there's a million. That in between, in some ways, is even more agonizing
Yeah.
because you're kind of caught in between both these two options. You're like sitting there thinking to yourself, like, I need a baby right now and I can't have one.
Yeah.
And that is a new form of suffering.
Yes.
And I don't think that you can tell that person, like, well, being through both experiences, I could tell you that there's beauty on the end of waiting as well, because the person who's in that situation is so desperate. They don't know that they're going to get pregnant. That's the problem.
Yeah. I wouldn't tell someone who's had an infertility experience to like just casually wait or not try. Like that seems delusional. I couldn't have done it.
I have so much compassion for everyone in this position because I just genuinely don't think you can win.
Yeah. We're over here like trying to give advice, and then every single piece of advice we give, we talk ourselves out of it because it's just fucking hard.
Right. We're like sitting here listening to give advice, and we're like, oh, this is only good advice if you're 3 years out and able to think rationally. Okay, well, that's useless.
I think the thing that I will say that I think is comforting, and I kind of already said this, is like that like Delulu need a baby in your arms feelings, it actually does not last. And I can say that with certainty. It does not last. So if that is like causing you a lot of distress and you feel like the only way to resolve that is to have a baby, but you don't feel ready, I will tell you it will go away. If you want to wait, you will be able to get through that and then take some time.
I'll add another perspective, which is that my husband was not ready.
Yeah.
But apparently I had told him that if I don't have another baby, I don't want to live, which I actually believe that I did tell him.
Sorry, I'm sorry, that's not funny.
I'm pretty sure I did say that. Like, I can understand where he came to that point. But he was like, I literally thought my wife was going to kill herself if we didn't get pregnant. So he's like, I said, okay.
Why am I laughing at this?
I mean, it's so sad, but I kind of vaguely remember these conversations. He was like, I thought my wife was going to kill herself. So I was like, okay, we could get pregnant. But like, he's like, I was not ready. And actually, having a baby when you're not ready, or when one partner is only doing it because they think their partner is going to kill themselves, that's not recommended. And I would say if you're in that situation, if your partner is not 100% on board, or at least like 98% on board, I would advise wait. And I feel really confident saying that, because when both parents are desperate for a baby, okay, move forward with, your plan. I can understand that. When one partner is desperate and the other partner is 100% not desperate, wants to not do that, then you have like, it's really, you can't force your partner into doing this. Even though I know that the person who wants to get pregnant, I understand why you want it, and I understand the biological need and the scream inside your heart. I hear it, I understand it, but I will say that having a child with a partner who needs to take a break and needs time to heal, just like a really bad idea. Like a really bad idea. You need to wait until you've got like some sort of compromise over there.
Yeah.
So that's all of our advice. Don't listen to any of it. Do whatever you want to do.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Is that a leopard print chair in the back? I never knew you had a leopard print chair.
It is a leopard print chair, and I don't like leopard print, but the reason I have this chair is because I was going back to work after Quinn died, and one of my cats was like, became very, very, very attached to me after Quinn died. I mean, he was always attached to me, but he would like sit on me all day. He was like a therapy cat. And I had to go back to work after Quinn died. And so I went to Home Goods, one of those, and I tried to find, and this was the only chair that I thought he could sit on with me while I sat at my desk. And I bought this chair that I don't even like the color of, but it's a grief related chair.
And did he sit with you on that?
Oh yeah, all the time. He was never a cat who like did a lot of kneading, KNEADING kneading. And then after Quinn died, he like kneaded on me, like to comfort me. And then also I think like he was sensing the anxiety in the house and it like soothed him. But now he's normal. He's fine. But definitely it affected the pets.
Maybe you should sell it and get a different one.
I really don't like it.
I really don't like it either.
I know. I've had this chair for so many years. This is my grief return to work chair.
I just don't like it. I don't know why I don't like it so much.
No, I get either. Well, because I'm not like an animal. I'm not like a leopard, teal
it's
leopard.
Not,
print.
It's teal. That's the problem. It's teal leopard print. It's bizarre.
My husband hates this chair.
Should we get rid of it? Should we sell it and buy a new chair?
I think we should. I think that would be good. I would love to get rid of this chair.
I think it's time.
It's never even occurred to me to actually get rid of it, but I totally should. I have no attachment to it, like emotionally.
There's something about it that's so just not you.
I know.
Listeners, I want you to imagine this is Alina and her husband's vibe. They like to be like on the lake, very rustic, like woods, dark colors of woods. And now there's like a
I don't wear makeup
teal.
at all. I don't do my hair. I'm not like a
She's the type of
styling.
person who like they shop at like LL Bean, like with full genuine heart, you know,
Yeah.
or like, that's like,
Yes.
and there's a teal leopard print chair in the corner. I don't even know I don't know whose style it is.
It really reminds me of my Jersey girl roots, actually.
You know what you should do? You should give it to your brother because he just moved to his own condo. He probably
You think my brother is a teal leopard print chair guy?
no, but I kind of feel like whatever. Like when you're a single guy, like you take the furniture you can get. Like
Yeah, that's true.
you think he would use it? I can imagine him thinking it was funny. You know?
I need to get rid of this chair. We actually are going to Marshall's today because I am looking for a very specific thing that I think Marshall's is going to have for me. And it's always dangerous to go into Marshall's or Home Goods with an idea because you need to let Marshall's and Home Goods tell you what you need. You can't
Yes.
go in with an
Yes.
idea or
Yes.
you'll be disappointed.
Yes.
But I think that I'm going to be able to find it. Okay, so I have this little a little blue it's a round picture frame. It's blue and it has petals, so it looks like it's a blue flower and it has a picture of Quinn in it.
Yeah.
Actually, might be yeah, it's right here. You can see in the
Yeah.
background. And then I also have a gold one that looks like a gold sunflower and it has his footprint in it.
Yes. I'm familiar with both of those.
So they're like flower shaped small circle picture frames. And I want to get another one in another color for this baby's footprint
I'll have it.
so that Quinn's footprint is in a gold thing. And then I want this baby in like a pink or a yellow or some other color, round, floral, small picture frame. I think Marshall's is going to have that.
I can imagine that.
Wish me luck.
It's possible. It's totally possible.
That's the kind of thing that they would have. So we're going to Marshall's today to do that.
I think that's a great idea. And I think there's a 60% chance you will get that.
I agree. And you know what? I won't be disappointed.
And I
if
think there's a 40% chance that you won't get either of that. And I'll recommend you go online so you get exactly what you want.
I think there's a 60% chance they'll have it and a 40% chance they won't have it. And I think there's a 100% chance I will buy something I don't actually need at Marshall's. Because I'm there and
That's funny.
see
I
it.
think that's true. Well, I want to give an update about what's been going on over here. I just want to tell everyone that that we had Aiden's birthday party.
Yeah.
Aiden's 4th birthday party. It was lovely. And it was so funny because my sister drove down from New Jersey. And I don't know quite how this happened, but she invited 3 guests to give them a ride. And somehow there was some confusion where they thought the ride was an invitation to her family's weekend. So they thought that they were going to spend the whole weekend with us. The whole thing is very confusing. They speak a different language, which probably led to some confusion. Anyway, that's the whole
It was
point.
a little bit like a foreign exchange student situation.
Yes, a little bit like a foreign
yeah.
exchange student situation where they're like, 19, 20. And my sister said, I'll give you a ride to DC. And they thought that meant like, I'll join you on your trip to DC. So they came and they ended up coming to Aiden's birthday party. Can you imagine my sister having to explain to them, like, you're going to come to a dead baby birthday? But anyway, that was all very nice. And it was the best birthday party I think we've had. And I just want to tell people what we did because I think most people don't know what to do for a dead baby birthday. So I want to give you an idea of what we do. We've done the same thing every year, but I think it's gotten better and better as we've refined it.
Yes.
One thing that I have discovered is that people need like activities and direction around grief related like they don't know what to do. They don't know what mood they should be coming in with. They don't know. They need you to set the tone. They need you to show them exactly how they should behave and what you should do and what activities you should be doing. Like you can't just like have a cake and call it a dead baby birthday because people don't know how to respond and they're going to be frustrated.
Yes.
So what we did this year is I made Aiden's birthday cake a couple days in advance because I know now that when I do it like too close to the birthday party, it's hard for me. So I will just do it in advance. I pick a theme every year. I find having a theme is helpful. Just kind of like it's helpful because I don't know him as a 4-year-old. So I don't know what he likes. And so if it was an alive baby birthday, I could just make a birthday party for what he likes. But since I don't know what he likes, it's easier for me to just like make up a theme. It just kind of gives the party some sort of shape. So this year the theme was dinosaurs. And it makes it so when I go to the dollar store to get decorations, like I know what I'm looking for.
Yes.
Otherwise, you can be like lost.
Yes.
There's so many options.
What other themes have you done?
The first year we did Wheels on the Bus theme.
And that one was related to him when he was alive because he really likes that.
That one was related to him because he liked that song. The second year was
Llama?
a llama, because it's also on Hanukkah, which I think also helps. It was a llama themed. It was like Happy Lamaka. The year after that was, what was last year? Oh, whale. It was like whales, like Baby Beluga, because he liked the song Baby Beluga, but I did whale themed. And then this year was dinosaurs. And what we always do is I first have an activity.
Hanukkah-saurus, right?
Hanukkah-saurus, yeah. That was a big
Hanukkah-saurus.
success,
That's
actually, I have to say. We have an activity. This year we painted rocks. I decorate the house just like anyone else would decorate their birthday house, like with streamers and balloons and dinosaur paraphernalia. I get dinosaur plates and napkins. It looks like a little kid's birthday party. Another thing that we do is because it's on Hanukkah, which is helpful, we do like a gift exchange and everyone picks a person. I find that helpful because people don't know, do you bring a dead baby a gift? Do you not? So this is kind of, like I said, it gives them structure. This is what we're going to do. Then we do the competition where everybody presents a charity to support in his memory, and we vote on it. And that's always like fun. And we encourage people to make PowerPoints and to get into it. And people in my family, like, they're very sweet. Like, they really try.
Where did you get that idea?
It's a long story for a different day.
Because we did, if you're curious about that, listeners, we do, if you can go back to like a very early episode of this podcast, we actually have audio of that birthday party.
Yes, we do. It's so much better than that birthday party, because that birthday party was the first one.
That was the first one.
And people just like didn't know what to do. I wish I could.
And it was the first year. And it was
the first year. I wish I could record. I should have recorded this one, because if you walked into the house as these strangers from another country did, the house was like laughing, like funny.
Yeah.
We were having fun. We were painting and eating cake, and we were singing happy birthday.
So was the rock painting, I think I forget if I asked you this, was the rock painting like to put rocks on his cemetery site?
On his grave, yeah.
Okay, yeah, wonderful. That's so cute.
Yes, and another thing I want to do is like to put like beads on like a wire to like decorate. Like I try and do something to like decorate his grave or something for him. One year we tried to make like cement blocks. That was an epic disaster, but we try to do some art project that would like improve his grave. And then after that, we do the competition for the charity competition, where everybody presents a different charity to support in his memory, and then we all vote, and then we all donate to that charity privately. So if you want to give $10, you give $10. If you want to give 100, you give 100. But it's just a nice way to do something good in his memory. And then I do a slideshow, and we do birthday cake. And one thing I like about the slideshow, which I just want to share, you saw this year's slideshow? It was very good.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's very good.
It's very good.
So one thing I've been doing is I've been adding on to it every year. So this year there was like a minute of the slideshow that was from his after he died. Like a whole minute of like
pictures of friends and family at his grave.
There was pictures of me and you,
Quinn and Aiden at the cabin.
There was pictures of previous birthday parties. There were pictures of like when people have like given charity and they got like a receipt.
Yeah,
that says like whatever. I put a screenshot of that. Like things that are, I had pictures of my daughter looking at his photo album this year. I had pictures of us that we took like as family pictures with like a picture of him in a frame that we did for his, like when my son was born this year. Like I did a whole minute of stuff after. And the reason why I think it's important is because it shows that his life continues on even though he died. And I can imagine a time, you know, like right now the slideshow was 3 minutes, 2 minutes were with him and 1 minute was without him. I suspect at one point it will be longer
without him.
But I think if someone wants to see it, I'm happy to share it privately. But I think it's important to show people how you want to grieve. And that's part of it, showing them that you want to show that his life continues on. So another successful birthday party in the books.
Yeah.
And I just want to say one other thing, which is in our conversation with Rachel, which you've heard by now, we spoke about, are you going to post on his birthday or are you not going to post on his birthday? And I just want to follow up by saying I did not post for his birthday.
Yeah. How did that feel? Fine, I'm sure.
I never know what to say.
I know. mean, there's not much to say. Happy birthday. You're still dead. I love you. I miss you. Like, that's kind of that's it.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to say? I also feel like this is a good time for me this is my like pro tip for friends of grievers who have a dead baby birthday in their life and you want to support their parents. Something that I try to do for dead baby birthday parents is get them a little something on their baby's birthday that's like for them, but about the baby. So like I've gotten you in the past, like a dolphin soap. This year I got you dolphin socks.
By the way, I love them. And I thought they were so funny and they made me so happy. And I wore the socks the whole weekend of his birthday.
Yeah. Just like a little, like it can be like the literal tiniest thing.
And we use that soap every day.
I know it's in your guest room.
That's in a bathroom. Yeah.
The littlest tiny, I am not a big, like, I'm not a gifts. Like that's not one of my love languages at all. I know Judith, it is one of your love languages. So I try really hard for you, but that is something that I feel like is so meaningful. Like I have a friend who gives me a gift on Quinn's birthday every year. I mean, she gives it like it's to Quinn and to me and whatever. But so what she got me this year, which actually turned out to be even more meaningful than I think she originally intended, it was like a sun catcher for the window, like a suction sun catcher that's stained glass, a morning glory, which is Quinn's birth flower. And I actually wound up hanging it in the nursery because it matches the nursery walls perfectly and it's beautiful. So now we have this like nice little beautiful stained glass morning glory Quinn's birth flower sun catcher in baby girl's nursery.
That's perfect.
And it just like is so lovely there. And so that's my little tip for pro tip for friends of grievers. Oh, and speaking of pro tip, I posted an Instagram reel this morning about your pro tip that you gave me for when you go to the hairdresser.
Oh, I went to the hairdresser today and she was like asking me if I was going to have more kids. And I was like, well, I've had 3 in 4 years. So I think I'm okay for now. And she was like, oh, you told me you had 3. And then I was like, oh, 1 died. And then the fucking bitch, let me tell you what she said. She says to me, she's like, a lot of people have really hard time getting pregnant. They spend so much money on IVF. Like you should be grateful for the blessings that you have too. And I was just like, oh, I think I said, yeah, I'm grateful. It's complicated, the end. But I did not appreciate that comment. And every time someone says like a comment like that, I think to myself, can you imagine if somebody lost their mother at age 5 and then their dad married a great stepmom?
Yeah.
Great stepmom. Can you imagine saying to that little girl?
You should be grateful that
you should be grateful you had a stepmom
died.
and she was really good to you.
Oh, God. Ridiculous.
Why do people think that babies replace babies? Like, and also I think that there's a way to say without saying, oh, other people have none. You should be grateful for what you have. I think there's something to be said. Just saying, like, I'm sure you feel really grateful for the babies you have in your arms.
Yes, that has such a different vibe than what she actually said.
What she said, right. You must feel so grateful to have beautiful live children. Because I would be like, yeah, but I don't like when people put suffering next to suffering. People who can't have any children or currently don't have any children right now, that is one form of suffering that I have so much empathy and compassion for. Somebody who's had a live child and they died, I have so much empathy and compassion for. It's not like a zero-sum scale. There's enough sadness to go around. I can feel sad for so many people. I don't have to be like comparing anyone. It's like telling me you shouldn't be upset because it's like, fuck off. But she did a good job with my hair, so,
Yeah, your hair does look great.
Well, right now, I gave her a tip and I said, thank you. And I said, I'll see you in a few weeks. And I'm a sucker. But you know what?
See you in a few weeks.
A few months, probably. I'll probably go back in a few months.
That's like when you go to the movie theater and they're like, great movie. And you say, you too. And you're like, oh, sorry, you're not seeing a movie. Although I haven't done that since before COVID. I've seen one movie exactly since COVID.
Wicked. Was it Wicked?
No, it was the Barbie movie. I haven't seen the Wicked.
You should go see Wicked.
I know, I should.
You should. It would feel so good. It's a great idea.
I love Wicked, the musical. I love it.
Then you've got to go.
I know. Wait, I had something to say. Oh, my hairdresser tip, which is just that this came from Judith. But basically, you go to the hairdresser, you go to the dentist, they're asking you questions about your baby, your pregnancy, your whatever. Just say, I'm so, I am excited about the baby. But I've been talking about it all week and I would just love for 1 hour to not talk about it. And then they get so excited to help you not talk about it. They get so jazzed to be a part of it's almost like you treat it like a little conspiracy. Like you're like letting them in on a little secret that you really don't want to talk about the baby at all. And then you get to not talk about the baby and you don't have to there's another way to not talk about the baby, which is that you can lie. And that doesn't always feel good. So you can pretend you don't have a dead baby. That doesn't always feel good. So instead, you just sidestep it by trying to just head off the whole conversation, head it off at the pass. And it really works.
Yes, it does work. And I think it also helps to direct them to where you want to go.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to baby. I want to talk about Christmas, or I want to talk about.
I even said to her yesterday, I was like, I'm so tired after the holidays. I feel like I've been talking. If I fall asleep while you're washing my hair, it's a compliment, not an insult.
Yeah.
And then I just closed my eyes.
I don't want to talk. Okay. Well, this has been an episode that has been longer than we anticipated.
It sure has.
I have to go make a PowerPoint presentation.
Oh my goodness, you're so important. Actually, I also have to make a PowerPoint presentation.
Is this stripes you're wearing? What are you wearing today? Is this blue striped? Is this something I gave you? I don't recognize it.
No, that's from when I was pregnant with Quinn.
Oh, okay. Well, I love you, and I will talk to you later.
I love you too.
Bye.
To all of our wonderful new friends, we want to hear from you. Email us at aslongasimlivingpodcast@gmail.com and follow us on Instagram at aslongasimlivingpodcast. We'll get back to you as soon as our grieving brains allow.
Yay!